And a lot of you on Twitter are very excited for our next guest on the show. He is, without a doubt, one of the most talked about Big Brother housemates of all time. I mean, whether you loved him or you disliked him, it's the one and only. It's Dexter. Hello.
Hello, Lewis.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Now, we're very excited to have you on the show. It must be manic for you at the moment with kind of public appearances and different work things you're doing.
Yeah, it is a little bit crazy, but I'm just trying to get back to normality.
Now, in the house, without a doubt, you were one of the most talked about housemates of all time. And I mean, a lot of people would, they said you were manipulative. Now, do you agree with that? Having watched yourself back, would you say you were manipulative?
I was just going in there and being myself. I mean, I had strategy when I first came into the house, but then when I realised the kind of people that I was dealing with and all their different personalities, then I couldn't do anything but be myself. I mean, I don't know how I managed to last so long in the process, and I'm just overwhelmed by the public support and the love that I got.
I mean, having watched you at times, it did seem like you had a game plan. You were in there, you were kind of rubbing people up the wrong way. However, when you were saved by the public, we saw some genuine emotion from you. It was like you were over the moon. You were chuffed that the public wanted to keep you in. So it kind of confused a lot of people because we saw a lovable, genuine, emotional side of Dexter, and then we saw the Dexter that loved to, wind people up and just kind of play these games. Now, I mean, can you understand why people were confused about you?
I can certainly understand that. I mean, I know that I'm quite a confusing guy because I'm quite a deep person, but it's difficult in there. I mean, especially being put up for nomination more than any other housemate, and also surviving all the evictions. People call it game playing. I call it self-protection because you do have to protect yourself from the big characters in there. Because when people are telling you what they think of you to your face, sometimes it does hurt. So you do have to protect yourself.
Now, obviously, one of the big talking points was Callum versus Dexter, and I mean, technically, you kind of won that battle, having been the runner-up of the show. But what was it about Callum that you two just didn't click? I mean, was it the thing with Charlie, or was it the fact that he was kind of going around to other housemates saying Dexter's fake? He's manipulative. What was it about Callum that you just didn't get on with?
Well, no, I actually really got along with him in the start, and it was just something that just clicked in my head where we just had a clash of personalities, really. I mean, Callum's a very smart guy. I don't class myself as smart. I walked out of school with like 1 A-level and a few GCSEs, nothing special. So, as far as I was concerned, Callum was the intellectual superior to me. I don't know why we didn't really get on. I mean, I have talked to him since we've left the house, but it was just a clash of personalities. Some people are just not meant to get on together, let alone live in a house for a long period of time.
So that makes sense. But, I mean, now, you said the other day when I spoke to you that I could ask you anything, and that you were prepared to, take all questions on board. Well, one of the things I wanted to ask was, obviously, another big talking point was the Daly and Hazel type thing, Daly having a girlfriend and, getting quite close with Hazel. But when, on Big Brother's Bit on the Side, it stated that you had a partner before you went into the house. Was that correct?
I had a very strong friendship with the girl that was on Bit on the Side. And
I see.
Before we went into the house, she said to me, "I will wait for you till you come out. I understand it's quite an intense process." So she gave me a hall pass, theoretically.
That makes sense.
And that was published in the press. So as far as I'm concerned, I didn't really do anything wrong. We're still very good friends. We talk. I'm going to go out I'm going to take her out for dinner to thank her for her support while I was in the house. But we weren't in a relationship. It was something that was starting that we just put on the back burner to see what happens when I came out of the house.
I'm with you now. And obviously, it seems like, having looked at your Twitter and stuff, that you and Charlie have become very close friends and maybe got to talk, privately without the cameras on you. And it looks like you two have got very close. Now, have you seen Charlie Travers a lot since you've left the house?
I've seen her as much as I can, but we're both very busy. She's doing a lot of work at the moment, and I'm doing a lot for charity as well. I'm seeing her tomorrow, and we're also filming for Bit on the Side on Monday.
Now, in the house, you and Gina were very much from the kind of middle of the show, were tipped to win with a lot of the bookies. I mean, you've probably heard that already, but you and Gina were very hot favourites to win the show. And from my understanding, when Sam was up the week before he won, it was very close between him going. But then eventually he kind of won the show in the last week when he stood up to you, and also when he kind of told Gina that he had feelings for her. Now, what are your thoughts on Sam's winning? Do you think that was a kind of a game plan on his behalf to be the person who got involved in a lot of stuff in the last week, and to tell somebody that he had feelings for them when that was fresh on the viewers' minds?
Well, look, I mean, Sam's been on other game shows, such as Deal or No Deal, and I think a lot of people underestimated Sam. I didn't underestimate him as a person. I mean, we didn't really talk much in the house. I mean, the winner of the show is the winner of the show. I'm not going to begrudge anybody winning, because anyone who survives 76 days and is loved in the house and is loved by the public is a winner in my eyes.
And so were you glad that he won? Do you think he was a worthy winner? Because obviously he went in there with a very good cause.
Well, look, I'm not going to say he was the most entertaining housemate. I mean, I would rather Gina won the show, personally, to be honest, because I think that she gave more entertainment to the public. I can't talk about myself because I'm just not like that, because I'm quite down to earth. But Sam won, and it is what it is, and it isn't the winning. It's the taking part that counts. And, I've had a good time. I've got amazing public support. I'm trying to do a lot back and give back to society before everyone forgets about me. And that is all that it's about. It's about the experience. There's only a handful of people that have done that. And it's what you do with it that matters.
But, I mean, Dexter, without a doubt, you are so entertaining in there. I mean, every single week, you were the housemate that everybody was talking about. I mean, the public just loved you. I mean, when you went in, you got booed, and it didn't seem to faze you, and you openly said, I wanted to change that into cheers, and my God, you did that. The crowd loved you. You were the runner-up of the show, which is a big thing. So, I mean, that must be so good for you to know that you managed to change a whole nation's perception on you, because they loved you, and that's why you finished in second place.
I know, it is amazing, and I'm still getting used to that fact now. I've watched a lot of the show back. I haven't watched all of it, and I'm just really pleased with the way that it's all panned out. And, I hope the public stand by me in whatever I choose to do in my future career. And, it just shows not to prejudge. I mean, I think the problem with British society at the moment is they prejudge people, and they make assumptions before they get to know the characters. And, the differences between Big Brother and other reality shows is we are real people. And I'm just glad that the public have warmed to me as a person. I know I'm not going to be liked by everybody, because that's just my character. But I've changed so much in the house, and I'm just really pleased for what it's done to me as a person.
Well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people are going to stand by you. And talking about your support, we've got some of your Twitter fans have tweeted in some questions, if you don't mind answering a couple of them.
No problem at all. No problem at all.
We've got DJ Demon Eyes, and he said, question for Dexter. What housemate do you still keep in contact with since leaving the Big Brother house, and he thinks that you should have won?
Well, DJ, thank you very much. I still keep in contact with Charlie, Gina, Hazel, the twins, and I even had a conversation with Sally earlier on this morning. And,
I mean, the twins in the house, you weren't that close. So since leaving, have you become quite good friends with them?
I saw them at a dinner before I went out on my date with Charlie. I speak to them at least twice a week, just to make sure that they're okay, because they're really, really nice boys, and I hope that they have a bright future, because they're very, very talented. I know we didn't always get on, but what goes on in the house stays in the house, and hopefully people are mature enough to understand that, and then take friendships and acquaintances into the outside world.
And Dexter, we have another question for you from Sue, and she said, please can you ask Dexter, have you got a favourite housemate from the past Big Brother series?
Yeah, I really like Brian Dowling. I like Jade, obviously. I like Nikki Graham. I've even got a little soft spot for Nasty Nick.
Now, you two, in a sense, were very similar in the fact that you went in there and you kind of played the game very well. And, I mean, eventually when he went back into the house in the Ultimate Big Brother, he changed the public perception of him. So you have a lot in common.
Yeah, I mean, look, me and Nasty Nick are very different characters that went on a completely different journey inside the house, But, I mean, the series was really different back then, and then I'm hoping from this year's Secrets and Lies that Big Brother will continue to be an amazing show like it was, and go back to the days of Social Experiment. I mean, there wasn't really any people in there that that were fame hungry. We were all in there to sort of find out about ourselves, and then, you know, hopefully try and win the show. I mean, you know, this year has been an amazing series. You know, it's been played through the press a lot, and people have actually started to watch it again. And I'm so happy that I did this year rather than previous years.
Another question we've got is, Dexter, have you watched any of the Big Brother episodes on YouTube? And if so, what surprised you the most?
I've watched a lot on YouTube. What surprised me the most is how funny that everybody is inside the house. Because, you know, we had a big laugh inside the house, but we didn't really appreciate how funny it is. I mean, some of the bits I've watched from myself and other housemates in there, you know, I was absolutely cracking up at home. I mean, it's, you know, the edit, everything was amazing, and they stayed true to us. You know, like I heard some of the housemates saying, oh, you know, they made me look bad with the edit and stuff like that. But really, you know, they can only put out what we put out. So, you know, if we're being naughty, they'll put that out. If we're being funny, then they'll put that out. So really, it was 100% us, and I'm just so happy with the way that the show's come across.
And we got another question from Mazia, 2010. She said, Dexter, did you ever feel like leaving the Big Brother house through the back door when you felt a little bit low?
Maisie, yes, there was those points where I did, especially within the first 2 weeks when I used to walk into a room and everybody else walked out. But I'm a strong character that can take everything on the chin, so I just had to persist, because I knew that if I could, you know, bring down my walls and actually show my true character, then obviously, hopefully the housemates would love me, and so would the public.
Chelsea Jade has just tweeted in. She said, Dexter, are you and Charlie officially going out because of the photos that have recently been released? That's a very personal question. Are you happy with answering that?
I will answer it in a roundabout way, Lewis. Me and Charlie are very close, and we are giving it a go, so to speak. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure because, you know, I mean, I don't class myself as well known, but a lot of people think that we're known now. I mean, having a relationship normally in the outside world is hard enough, let alone when everybody wants to know the ins and outs of your relationship. So, you know, it's very slow, and it's baby steps.
And we had another question. Somebody wanted to know when your birthday is. I mean, that's not the most entertaining. They've got a chance to ask Dexter a question, and they want to know when your birthday is.
My birthday's on the 26th of January.
There we go. That was an exciting question. I'm glad that was in. Now, Dexter, somebody from America is tuning into this interview.
Okay.
Isn't that quite amazing?
It is. I mean, I've had tweets from people in Canada, America, and other countries, and I can't believe people are actually watching the British UK version of Big Brother. And, you know, I want to thank all of the American and Canadian fans as well for standing by me and all their nice comments on YouTube.
Now, the last question from your guys on Twitter, Kerry J. Matthews tweeted in and said, who is your favourite celebrity Big Brother housemate of this series?
Well, I've got two favourites, Kerry. I'm 100% Team Courtney because I just find her hilarious. I think Charlotte from Geordie Shore will win the show.
Yes. Now, Charlotte's been on this show before, and she is amazing. And what you're seeing in there is exactly what she's like in general. So I'm with you on that one. And she actually put that on the end of her tweet. She said, "Charlotte, I hope." So, but Dexter, what's next for you now? Because you must have so much stuff, kind of projects coming up. So what's next for Dexter Koh?
Well, obviously, I did have a fairly successful business before I went into the house, so I'm kind of catching up on 3 months' worth of work. I'm doing a campaign for Motor Neuron Disease Association because my stepfather passed away. That I started on Twitter yesterday, and I've already raised over £1,000.
Wow.
I'm doing a competition where once I reach my target, I'm going to go and live with a housemate for a day and a night. And I've got a few TV projects that I'm talking to some channels about. But apart from that, you know, I'm just a down-to-earth guy. And if things come along, then I'll take them. If they don't, then it's been an amazing experience, and I'll just go back to normal life.
I mean, Dexter, I have loved having you on the show, and I really hope you come back again to tell us about your upcoming projects. You were fantastic and definitely entertaining in the house, and you definitely deserved to be the runner-up because you were very entertaining. So thank you so much for joining us on today's show and answering your fans' questions.
No problem at all. And I'll come back anytime you like, Lewis. I'm just off to go to do a appearance somewhere, so I will have to leave you now. But I'd just like to thank everyone for tuning into the show, and thank you to all my fans for supporting me. And thanks a lot for the Donate a Pound to Keep People Sound campaign, because you really are making a really, really big difference to people's lives.
Dexter, you're an absolute star. Thank you so much for your time today.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you, Dexter. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.